I do something different for every single role that I play. It's part of the preparation. So the beauty of my life is that I've been working for over 35 years and it's still different.
Grief is a journey, you know. I understand that grief is love that has no place to go.
I was married for 9 years. So I think if I got caught up in divorce is very painful. And I think that if I got caught up in the failure of divorce, I might not have fared as well. But there was a time where I felt like such a failure, and
we felt like there were so many people who did not know who Shirley Chisholm is, who she was, who she is, and that bugged us. When you're a first, when you set out to do something that no one else has done before, there's no example of that for you, that's a lonely road to travel. The play 227, it was a play before it was a TV series, and Marla Gibbs sold it to NBC to make it into a series. 9 auditions later, I finally got the part. Marla Gibbs is the original boss. Before it was a thing to be the actor, the producer, the creator of something, Marla Gibbs was doing it in the 80s.
Regina's been fighting battles most of us couldn't even imagine. Life didn't just throw her curveballs, it hit her with wrecking balls.
So angry with God, you know, that why would that weight be given?
She went from being on top of the world to dealing with heartbreak after heartbreak. Failed marriages, messy breakups, and the gut-wrenching loss of her only son, Ian.
Grief is a journey, you know. I understand that grief is love that has no place to go.
This ain't no fairy tale. This is real life, raw and unfiltered. Regina's been through hell, y'all, and she's still trying to find her way back. But how did it all go down? From her early days as America's sweetheart to the crushing moments that shattered her world, we're peeling back the layers on the real Regina King. The good, the bad, and the heartbreaking. But first, let's get into how Regina King went from a regular LA girl to straight up Hollywood royalty. Born on January 15, 1971 in sunny Los Angeles, Regina Renee King didn't have it easy growing up. Her pops dipped out early, so it was just her sister, and their super mom, Gloria. Now Gloria, that woman was a real one, working her butt off, holding down the family solo, and teaching Regina how to be strong and smart with her money. That grind, it definitely rubbed off on Regina. At just 16, Regina hit it big. She landed her breakout role as Brenda Jenkins on 227, and y'all, America couldn't get enough of her.
The play 227, it was a play before it was a TV series, and Marla Gibbs sold it to NBC to make it into a series. 9 auditions later, I finally got the part. Marla Gibbs is the original boss. Before it was a thing to be the actor, the producer, the creator of something, Marla Gibbs was doing it in the 80s. I had the opportunity to soak in so much information, so much boss ladiness at a young age that I know for sure that knowledge, that education has carried with me all the way until my adult career.
Sis was charming, funny, and had that it factor you can't fake. She was getting those checks too, enough to buy herself a fresh Toyota MR2 for her sweet 16. Who else is out here flexing with a new whip while still in high school? Not many. From there, Regina was unstoppable. She dominated movies like Boys in the Hood, had us laughing in Friday, and stole the show in Jerry Maguire. But she wasn't just content being on screen. Nah, she leveled up to directing and producing like the boss she is. And the accolades? Oh, they piled up fast. 4 Emmys for shows like American Crime and 7 Seconds. And let's not forget that Oscar for If Beale Street Could Talk. Sis wasn't just winning, she was changing the game.
I do something different for every single role that I play. It's part of the preparation. So the beauty of my life is that I've been working for over 35 years and it's still different.
But the same strength that got Regina to the top was about to get tested in ways nobody saw coming. Her story proves that even when you're shining, life can throw some serious shade. Regina King's love life? Man, it's been a roller coaster, and not the fun kind. Back in 1997, Regina tied the knot with Ian Alexander Sr., and for a minute it seemed like things were solid. But behind the scenes? Wow, it was messy. Ian was out here wilding with infidelity and substance abuse, and Regina had no choice but to call it quits in 2007. 10 years of marriage down the drain. She had to hold it down as a single mom, juggling her career and raising their son, Ian Jr. She later opened up about how hard it was, saying the marriage and divorce were some of the toughest battles she'd ever faced.
I was married for 9 years. So I think if I got caught up in divorce is very painful. And I think that if I got caught up in the failure of divorce, I might not have fared as well. But there was a time where I felt like such a failure, and my ex-husband and I were not on good terms. And now we're great. We've defined a family. We are still family. We are always going to be family. We have the most important, precious thing in common.
Then came Malcolm Jamal Warner, the dude everybody thought was her happily ever after. They started dating in 2011, and for 2 years, folks were rooting for them hard. But just when things seemed perfect, Malcolm hit her with the ultimate curveball. He ended the relationship on Valentine's Day in 2013. Yup, you read that right. Dude told Regina and her son to pack up and leave his house. Cold, right? To make it worse, he sent her flowers after the breakup. Regina? She wasn't having it. She threw the bouquet straight in the trash and told everyone about it later, saying, "Boy, bye." After that, Regina wasn't even trying to deal with love like that anymore. By 2019, she was over it, telling folks she was focused on her career and her peace. "I'm comfortable where I am right now," she said. And honestly, who could blame her? After all that drama, Sis chose herself. And that's the kind of power move we love to see. Regina King and her son Ian Alexander Jr., they were tight like no other. She always called Ian her greatest accomplishment. And if you saw them together, you knew she meant it. Their bond wasn't just deep, it was sacred. They even had matching tattoos that read "unconditional love" in Aramaic, something they chose together while studying Kabbalah. Ian worshipped his mom, calling her a super mom, and gushing about how she never let a bad day ruin their time together. They were each other's biggest cheerleaders. But on January 21st, 2022, tragedy struck. Ian, just 26 years old, took his own life. Days before, he had tweeted about struggling with his mental health, saying, "I don't think Instagram is healthy for me." It was a chilling cry for help that nobody could have imagined would end like this. In a statement, Regina's family described Ian as a bright light who cared so deeply about the happiness of others. That light, though, was extinguished too soon, leaving Regina shattered.
When it comes to depression, that people expect it to look a certain way, and they expect it to look heavy, and people expect that
It's okay.
to have to experience this and not be able to have the time to just sit with Ian's choice, which I respect and understand, that he didn't want to be here anymore.
Her grief. It was raw, it was visible, and it was heartbreaking. Close friends like Vivica A. Fox saw the pain up close, with Vivica describing Regina as broken to pieces. It wasn't just a loss, it was a gut punch that left her world spinning. To honor her son, Regina participated in a lantern lighting ceremony on his birthday in January 2023. She called him her guiding light and wrote, "His spirit is the thread that connects us." It was clear that while Ian might no longer be physically here, his presence would always be with her. Since losing Ian, Regina's been mostly off the grid, stepping away from the spotlight to process her unimaginable pain. She's made a few appearances, often reflecting on the grief and the long road to healing. Losing Ian wasn't just a chapter in her life. It completely rewrote her story. Through it all, Regina's resilience continues to shine. even as she navigates a heartbreak that no parent should ever have to endure. Life hit Regina King hard, but this queen don't stay down. Despite the crushing grief of losing her only son, Regina's resilience is proof of her unshakable strength. She's been slowly rebuilding her life, finding ways to honor Ian's memory while pouring herself into her work. In 2023, she took part in remembrance events for Ian, keeping his spirit alive and channeling her pain into purpose. One of her most anticipated projects is Shirley, a biopic about Shirley Chisholm, the first Black woman elected to the U.S. Congress.
We felt like there were so many people who did not know who Shirley Chisholm is, who she was, who she is, and that bugged us. When you're a first, when you set out to do something that no one else has done before, there's no example of that for you. That's a lonely road to travel.
It's more than just another acting gig for Regina. This film is personal. With her sister Raina by her side, she's crafting a story about breaking barriers and making history, much like she's done in her own life. The project reflects Regina's unyielding determination to turn pain into power and continue inspiring others. Even after everything she's been through, Regina's legacy remains untouchable. With a net worth of $6 million and accolades that include an Oscar and 4 Emmys, she's proven that her talent and drive are unstoppable. But it's not just about the trophies. It's about her journey, her ability to rise above heartbreak, and the way she's inspired millions with her strength. Regina King is more than an actress. She's a symbol of resilience. Through unimaginable pain, she's shown the world what it means to persevere, and her story isn't over yet. If there's one thing we know about Regina, it's that she'll keep rising, stronger, bolder, and more powerful than ever. Now, before you bounce, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you've been feeling this deep dive into Regina King's story, we've got even more real, raw, and eye-opening content coming your way.